We got a yellow turn 3, yellow turn 3. Clear now, clear.
Oh, sorry guys, massive issue from my end because I was trying to stream. It kept showing that someone else was streaming on our league. I was just so confused. I had to do a full reset of my Xbox. That now has allowed me to connect the stream to my Xbox. We can watch this live. Hello everybody and welcome back. It is the Inter tier once again. Death is on top once again. Silverstone is here today. McLaren will be looking for another win. After last week at Miami, where Merck in the Ferrari finally grabbed the win that he'd been looking for very long, for the first few rounds. This time, Ferrari isn't going to take part in qualifying because he had an issue. He got kicked out. Usually when you get kicked out, the game fairly tires you. I think that's one of the dumbest new settings that they have in the game. Like when you disconnect and the game retires you fully, because imagine just losing connection once and that's the end for you. Now, yesterday when I was racing at Qatar, I was also afraid of that issue because I also had problems with my internet, and if I got kicked out of Qatar and retired from the race in a race that my championship rival Viking Fox didn't show up, surely I would have not been happy whatsoever. And Merck is definitely not happy as his championship now has taken a big blow as he has to start at the back in a race in a tier where engine pens and not a thing, and if you keep it on track most of the time, wouldn't have to go through that starting at the back. But we'll see what the Ferrari man can do. We'll see if he can claw his way from the back. He does have UFRL for now as company at the back, but he definitely will be improving on his time. Of course, with the 1:29.5, that is a slow time for the man, but the one-time tier 1 champion of UFRL and is current championship contender in tier 1. Who hasn't raced in the Inter tier, I believe, much this season. I believe this might be his second race of the season in the Inter tier, or maybe the first. But I know he didn't race at China. I don't remember him racing at Brazil. And he didn't race last week. So yeah, I believe this is his first race here in the Inter tier. Simon, visit our big teammate of Mr. P. We try to get strong points for his team today. Standings haven't been posted for 100% of Inter tier for a while now, so bear with us. Sometimes those standings won't really be posted every week. Not as the weekend tiers, and those ones are not us. So it's not us sometimes. Us. The weekday tiers as EMT decides it's time to twerk on track once again. I believe the last time he did this was in Mexico in the 100% tier. Was it him, or maybe have been somebody else that was left working on track in Mexico? I can't remember who it was. Him, maybe Simon. I can't really remember who he was, but I can. If I'm going for a guess, I'll say it was EMT. Let me go into the chat to see if anyone has been saying anything to me. Sorry guys, by the way, for joining the chat. Rain for the race. Yeah, I got that information from someone that there's going to be rain in the race. That is interesting to hear. And apparently, it's not going to be a full rain race. It's going to be changeable conditions in this one. And changeable conditions is definitely what we live for, because that's going to bring some unpredictable choices in the race. As Hazer slightly goes wide, it doesn't invalidate on that time that he currently probably is on or not on. As you can see, UFRL Mr. P is taking the opportunity to put his car at P2. Still has that pressure of Hazer, Coffee, and Pesci that can definitely go faster than what he's done, knowing the pace that those drivers have, especially in quali for a driver like Coffee. Mr. P is doing a strong job right now, as he is also another driver that will be looking to grab another inter-tier championship. As Dog now has retired from this session. Quali is over for the McLaren. His teammates will start P1. He will start at the top of the next top 10 drivers. As the next 10 drivers after the top 10, that is how it is. We go for the McLaren. Hazer now also out of qualifying. Into the pits he goes, and P3 to be for him, unless someone else on track can have a say about that. Visa RB of Simon goes up to P6 for the 127.5. Not a bad time from him. Deck, the man who currently sits provisional pole position, can he improve his time? He does cross the start finish line, and he does. He triggers 126.179. That surely should be your pole position, unless Coffee has a say about that. Currently 2/10 up on his time. Will need about 5 more tenths if he wants to beat the McLaren, and that was very difficult. But P2 was not out of the reach for the Mercedes, as he gets it with a 126.5. Woody moves up to P5 with a 127.2. A good place to start for him in front of Viva, but Viva does have that opportunities down on his time by 11 hundredths of a second. But how much can he improve in these last few corners? He does well enough to improve to beat Woody's time. Not to P5 he goes. That surely will be the end of qualifying for everybody else. But Simon is currently on a lap. I believe the last driver and Viral will cross the line before him. So let's hop onto the Red Bull now. On his first race in the Inter tier, the weekend tier, P8 he goes 127.5. He did say that he might show up for the Inter tier, and here he is, the new driver, the young prodigy of UFRL. P5 for Pesci, 126.8. Surprising for Pesci. Slightly struggling here. The man that you expect to be at the top, losing out to 4 drivers on track. Very unsurprising, as he sliced through the twerking Williams driver in tier N, turn 3 there. But Pesci is going to just start in P5, and that is your grade for qualifying. Deck in the McLaren will get that pole position. Deck is one guy that will probably be hoping that, wishing that the pole position point never left, because it looks like in this tier he can get a lot of them, and a lot of them he is surely getting, because that's the 3rd pole position of the season for the McLaren. Or might be the 4th. I believe he might have going pole position in every race, but for this one he will start right at the top. Deck at the top, Coffee in P2, and Mr. P will round up the top. Check that McLaren. Can someone send me an invite? EMT, have you gotten an invite back into this session? I hope you have, but I think I'll be able to send you an invite. You are PlayStation, but I think we're friends. So I'll see after this. I can't click anything right now. I hope if you haven't, I'll still be sending you one, even if you have or you haven't. So. Oh, there we go. It's pouring down already at the start. Might be later on that it will stop pouring, but for now it is. And let's see. Stonk. Oh, still one assignment ahead of me, so let's add these guys back. Simon and I have been racing in the Inter tier together. And we've had a few comments together in the last 2 races. Hopefully that's not a rivalry brewing. But fun one it has been so far. Yeah, but I just hope no one gets taken out in any race. And he's here today fighting for the visa RB. And it's going to be changeable conditions here in the inter tier. Yeah, and I was late to the stream, so people probably haven't gotten the notification. So I'm going to add everyone in chat and say, come support inter tier.
The whole 26 laps.
What time should we say? 34 maybe? It's been a couple of minutes.
Yeah, 34. Is anyone going to try the whole 26 laps?
Sure. I think people will try and wait out safety car then.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? If there's a safety car, you can. It's a trick. It's going to send that origin at the end as well. How many people were in there, Dan? 7 over 10?
Alright, let's see. Let me go to Discord. What first few things I need to check? First off, what time are we going? XD Lounge. 21:34, so in 2 minutes. Next, I'm at stream is up. Come support enter drivers. All right. In a minute, we will be racing, and we'll be starting on the wets. And we all know that it's slippery in the wet. Very, very slippery in the wet. What tires would they be going for though? Is it going to be the inters or the wet tires? I can actually see that going into race director, and it's inters for everybody. Looks like it's going to be an inter tire race. Maybe changing to the wets later in the race. Maybe switching to dries, because I'm hearing rumors that it's going to be a changeable condition race. And a changeable condition race that we surely all in here will be loving. As Hazer just type some gibberish in the chat. I'm gonna act like I understand that. Yes, Hazer, I agree. I agree with what you just said. When they go, I say, and Dex is rain the full race, I believe. Rain the full race, oof. Interesting. Interesting. A full wet Silverstone race. When was the last time I saw that? 100%. 100% wasn't even full. Wasn't even full wet. At the start, it was dry and 100%. It became wet later in that race. But I mean, it's a 100% race. It became wet before halfway, so we'll say we did full 50% race in the wets. And the inter-tier drivers are gonna have to do that too, like we just did. And he said, "Welcome to the UK." Yeah, it's just absolutely gloomy in the UK. The UK kind of reminds me of Vancouver, but the 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights reminds me of racing. And the 5 lights are out, and his foot to the floor, and go. Declan is going to have a good start and keep that pole position, but the Mercedes of Coffee is going to lose out to the Pesci, who didn't really have a good quality, but he's already up to P3. He goes. Hazer also getting ahead of the Mercedes with not the best start there. He's going to try and stick it on the inside of the Alpine, but nothing doing. The Alpine can't complete that move. More fights going on the back as Merck, who didn't have the opportunity to set a quality time before getting kicked out because of connection, is going to move up to P10. A very already sharp start for him as Viral in the Mercedes and the Red Bull is going to slide out of track. The Red Bulls still struggling here in the inter tier as Viral will continue that trend. Off he goes, but can he claw back into the pack as we continue racing now as Doug making the move on Woody. Woody losing 2 places now. Dog getting it on the Ferrari, on the Aston Martin, as the Ferrari follows him through up to P80 goals. But can Woody fight it back with the McLaren as they head out to Maggots, and Begets is going to have to hold it back here. Not the best situation. As you can see, they'll be starting all on the Indian tires. That we already knew. As we head now, Woody losing even more places, dropping to P13. That means he did not have the best entry and exit coming out of that corner. Might have made a little bit of mistake from the Aston Martin as he drops to the back. P14 to be for the man who started in P6. Not the best start to the race whatsoever, but a great start to the race for the Ferrari, and last week's winner of UFRL now, who's on putting a lot of pressure on Simon, as he'll be looking to be making the places as quick as possible to make sure that Deck doesn't run away with it. But having Pesci on track will definitely give Merck the opportunity to make sure that Deck doesn't run away with it, because Pesci will be putting pressure on that McLaren for sure, as he's putting pressure on the Visa. Will be trying it around the outside, no traction there, nothing doing. But he will have another opportunity now going down the straight. He's going to tuck behind the slipstream of Visa RB. Does not have DRS in the wet. Will look for it down the inside. Will Simon give him that space? Surely not. Oh, as he almost takes out the Ferrari there. Simon slicing it, crossing in front of him as he was trying to move. The Ferrari does a good job to make sure that he keeps his car straight. But trust me, I've raced Simon before, and he's one that has his elbow out most of the race. You're going to have to be careful when you want to get past that Visa RB. And Merck is going to have to show us how that's done in a clean way, because Simon is surely not going to make it easy for him, as they are now losing that 1 second buffer to Coffee in front, who's fighting with Viva, who has lost it to the top 4 drivers. The 4 drivers, 2 drivers are lost it to the men in the top 2. These guys, who always occupy the top 3 in tier 1, are missing their partner in crime, the Bird, who doesn't race in the inter tier. But now, both of them will be going at it. Just them two up in front. Hazer and Mr. P slightly losing time to them, but they will continue their own personal fight, as Viva is doing a good job to keep Coffee behind. Mark still struggling to get past Simon in that Visa RB, but he's surely not going to give that one up. Dog, he's doing a good job to stay close to them here, and Kibaja also close to them. But EMT in that Williams has fallen off and is now under pressure from PRV Widget in the Mercedes and Woody, but PRV Widget is going to go deep there. That means Woody surely is going to slide past him on the inside up to P12. The Aston Martin goes viral now, is catching back up to the pack, and his first target will be his teammate. 3-second penalty for PRV Widget, but however now who has to get past his teammate. His teammate probably is not going to make it too hard for Red Bull driver here, so maybe he gets right into the back of the rear wing of Kez. Probably will just slide through and let his teammate go, because as you can see, corner by corner, he's clawing that time in. But Woody now will be putting pressure on EMT in the Williams. Not enough, heading down to Corps to get the move done. But we have another opportunity in this race, because it's just the start of it. The start of it has been quite exciting, as Hazer now clawing back to the top 2. Very good driving from Hazer. Mr. P still doing a good job to be close to Hazer here, but Hazer in the Alpine is absolutely rapid here, as he can't get back to Pesci and Deck, and we know how difficult it is to race with those guys in front, as Merck is still behind the Visa RB as they make a little bit more contact. Visa RB, like I said, Simon does not make it easy to get past him. I've raced him twice now in a row, and I know that fact for sure. He doesn't make it easy to get past him, so Merck is going to have to find something here as he heads down the straight. 8/10 quicker on this lap than any other lap he's done in this race, because as you can see, he's definitely pushing now to get past this Visa RB, and down the inside he goes. Can he complete it? They make even more contact. Simon is not giving it up. He's going to dive again down the inside, but even more contact now, and he finally goes for a spin. Sometimes having your elbow out is nice, but sometimes you should know when to pull out, especially when a driver is quicker than you. It might not be in your best interest to be fighting him. Just let him go and try and use that pace to get closer to the other drivers in front that are pulling away. But Simon didn't get that memo Merck didn't have time for that memo as he slides through the visa of the coffee in the Mercedes. He's quite struggling quite a little bit. Target will be his next target as we Alright, sorry about that, guys. I got distracted a little bit. As Hazer now has a little bit of a mistake from him as he's losing even more time there. Falling off the back of Pesci there. He did a good job to get back to them and he's now falling back out that 1 second buffer. But we'll see if he can get back into it. Mr. P has even lost more time as the drivers behind will surely start to gain on him even more, especially the fast moving Ferrari. Last week's race winner want to win again this week. It's going to have to be hard push from him here as Woody is going into the pit. Is that wing damage on the car or is that a new... Okay, it's wing damage on the car and it's still going to be the inter tires for the Aston Martin. So it's not going to be any other compound of tires that he's going for strategy wise. It's just because he got damage on his wing and he's going to have to change that. As Merck now very close to Coffee. Ooh, as he's going to go for it on the inside. Now round the outside he goes in this corner. Can he complete it then? No, he cannot. But he can set himself up going down to Corpse. Does he have the ERS in his car to gain on the Mercedes as they head down the street? Doesn't look like he has enough. He might have to save up to go for the move very soon. Viva is not too far ahead and the Ferrari knows that for sure. He's showing a lot of pace in the main in this race. I won't be surprised if he does claw back up to the top 2 and if he does win from P14. That would be a very strong win for sure. As now he will slide past the Mercedes, having a better corner coming out of Magnussen Beckett than the Mercedes. He can now complete that move and up to P6 he goes. Great driving from the Ferrari as he continues his claw back up to the front. Viva will be next. See how quick he can, how quick or slow he can get past the Haas driver. He's having a good season here in the Inter-Tier. Coming third last season, just right behind Mano and Mr. P. Fighting with the likes of Hazer and Link's Piece. I'm sure he was proud of that. And this season again, he will surely want to go for a season that he wants to be proud of again. As EMT tries it down the inside on Viral, probably not the best place to try a move, especially when it's wet, and that definitely compromised Williams' driver. Viral will stay ahead. Kersinator will go off track. That's yellow flags. He's causing yellow flags, but it wouldn't be a safety car. That's a key driver. Key driver definitely loving the safety car right now as Hazer is clawing back to them. Mr. P has lost even more time. Mr. P has lost even more time here. I hope I'm in this session. I hope you guys can see. I mean, I can see that I'm in this session in the screen. Let's see. Let's do a sound test. Yeah. Everything is going well. So there we go. Pesci is now behind Declan. See, can't still get past the McLaren who has been leading this race from the start of it. Good defensive drive that he has done now 6 laps into the race and 20 to go. How much can he keep that visa out? How long can he keep that visa out? How long can the Haas keep the Ferrari behind? Because Merkel wants to get through as soon as possible. So start lap 7 now. He for the Haas driver. I might just let him make it an easy one for him and just follow him through. We'll see exactly how it is, because you know when the driver behind you has more pace, it's a smart option. So let him through and just follow that pace to try and get back to the drivers in front. And I know Viva, when it comes to racecraft, he's up there. With most of them, and surely, as you go, we'll be letting the Ferrari through as soon as possible. Follow that Ferrari and try and get back to the drivers in front. And that's why he came in a tough, very tough Inter-Tier last season. sometimes it's not about pace. Sometimes it's about what you have in your head, and in his head he knows it won't really benefit him to fight that Ferrari. That's a Ferrari now up to P5, starting all the way from P14. Very, very smart from UFRL Merc. I mean, very, very good driving from UFRL Merc all the way up to P5. And his next target now will be his best target of UFRL Mr. P already, as you can see in his view, heading down to Stowe, leaving under the bridge. That's a Ferrari. Will be gaining even more and more time on the driver's in front. Mr. P now 6 seconds behind Lisa and the top 3. We'll see how it is. Deck now has improved his time 1:37.3. Looks like the track might be slightly drying up, but as I heard, it's still going to be a wet race for the full thing. Might just be a little bit wetter, a little bit wetter a little bit less wet later in the race, but it should still be inter-tier tire conditions. So we'll see Merc already gaining almost 4 tenths in a few corners on Mr. P in front, showing that he does have a lot of pace in the wet. Maybe he's one of the strongest when it comes to pace out of all these drivers in the wet. And we'll see how much last week's race winner at Miami can drive his car, and we'll see if he can get that win once again. A win that, if he does get, is absolutely spectacular. It's one I think that might be out of his reach now, because he's about 7 seconds away from the top 3. But if he does get that, that will probably be the best drive of the season. And when I mean of the season, I mean fully the full season, not just the inter-tier. I mean every other tier put together, because coming from P14, especially when it's wet, knowing that the 3 drivers in front are very, very fast, maybe even slightly faster than you, being able to come back and win the race will be a very strong accomplishment for the Ferrari. So that's a very interesting story to watch in this race, as Kezinator gets a 3-second penalty. Declan still holding the lead, took the lead, had the lead at the start, kept the lead at the start, still has the lead now, as the McLaren will get past the Mercedes of Coffee before they start lap 9. And he's up to P7 now, dogging a good race for him so far. Now, can he continue his good ratings as we head to the front? Hazer, 7 tenths behind Pesci now. Doesn't have the pace to make the move yet, but he has enough of it to stay behind this top 2 and continue to fight for places. Declan though showing a strong drive here, as you can see. There's a dry line now on track. Why is a dry line? That line is so dry that you think you could use dry tires on it. So as you can see, there's no splash coming out on any driver. Oh, who has Merc with a little bit of a mistake there. But there's no splash coming out of any driver. As you can see in their wheels. So the dry line is really, really dry now, but it continues to pour with rain. A few places that you can see the splash from their tires. So a few places that definitely the dry tires wouldn't work in this situation. But Merc is blasting through there with that loose rear end, slightly goes off there, but as you can see, pushing very hard the Ferrari. His next target is Mr. P, who's not making it easy for the Ferrari, not as easy as it was for everybody else. The Visa RBs giving the Ferrari of Merc quite a task here to get past them. But Hazer and the top 3 will continue. Pesci now taking our fastest lap, 137.3 from him. Bakey in the chat. Good evening, Bakey. It's good to see you here watching the race. And a good race from you yesterday. But Declan, unbelievable driving from him. Especially as everyone had the opportunity to make the move on the McLaren. Driver behind. Even more and more now. Merc now still trying to get P up in front of him. We've had slightly lost time to driver, but still a good place for Viva to be now. Got past him a few laps ago. Simon continues to follow to the drivers in front, and we'll see if he can claw back. But flags at the back. It's EMT. He's off track. Oh, Not the best entry onto track. Maybe that might have put Kez off because he also went off track there. Let's just go off that a little bit. That's maybe not the best track. You see what the stewards say about that. It was ghosting, but even if you're ghosting, sometimes you have to watch the way you move on the track, especially when the driver is behind you. If there's no one behind you, then you can do whatever you want. Kez was behind him, I might have been slightly put off there. Hazer, though, is going to be the first one to trigger the pit stops. Decides he wants to do the one stop here. Others decide to go for the long one and just stay out on these inters all the way to the end. Can these inters hold it all the way to the end? Hayes and the Alpine decide that is not going to be his choice, as he's the first now into the pit, and we'll see how that works. We'll see how that strategy works out for him. UFRL and Mr. P, Viva, Dog, Coffee will all be sliding to Visa RB of Simon will be the last driver to get past Hazer coming out of the pit. Will Angry Badger also get past the Alpine? Yes, he will. Down to P10, Hazer goes, and now to have to claw back. I mean, if everybody does stay out, I don't see Hazer catching back up to the front. With how many laps to go? 15 laps to go. It's very difficult. So I'm going to have to pass Angry Badger, Simon, Coffee, Dog, UFRL, Viva, Merck, Mr. P, Pesci, and Deck if he wants to win this race. But EMT now has dropped out of the session, so I'm just going to give him an invite. I'm just going to give him an invite here. Sorry, guys. We're not going to be seeing some racing for a few seconds. There you go, EMT. Mr. P now 11 seconds behind Pesci. That fight surely is over for the Visa RB. Can he hold on to this podium? Ferrari of Merck now has 1.55 seconds between him and Visa RB in front. Strong driving from him starting in P14. Let's show you position changes so you guys know exactly how these drivers have done. 10 places made from UFRL Merck. But the quiet one has been Doug. 6 places made from him. Up to P6 he already goes. Hazer is making places. He has passed 2 drivers already, but P8 for Hazer. Somebody else just dived into the pits. I just saw that. Who was that? That was Simon in the Visa RB. It is his own time now to go into the pits for his pit stop. P10 he is in. It's going to be fresh inter tires for Simon and V-Car. And there you go. Inters for him. It's not going to be a dry race, as you can see. The race is not going to be dry, but finally Pesci is having his moment here, trying to get past the McLaren. Still not strong enough, not enough traction on the inside there as they head down to Corps. Big Sauber driver, the reserve driver here in the inter-tier, putting pressure on our championship leader. But finally, we look to finally get the place on our championship leader and the leader of this race for the first 12 laps of it. We'll see if these 2 drivers do come into the pits for fresh tires or they'll be going for the long one. But Pesci now down the straight with that slipstream wouldn't be close enough and wouldn't make that move just yet. But Merck now has finally caught up to Mr. P, 6/10 behind the Visa RB driver. Definitely will be setting his move up in the next few laps. Hazer though, behind, coming out of Corps. So come out of Maggots and Beckett, almost loses the back end and sends his car into the grass. But he can keep going now. And right behind Coffee he is. He's going to be watching men in P3 and P4 as Coffee now will be going into the pit. The men in P3 and P4 are his real targets here, because he was in P3 when he decided to come into the pit. But if Declan and Pesci do come in this race for the Inter tires, Hazer surely will be in a better position, and she's one of those fresh Inter tires and is gaining a lot of time now. Quickest lap from the Alpine, as Doug on old Inter tires will be his next target. These guys are not going to be a problem for the Alpine. I believe it will be a breeze as PRV Widget gets past his teammates. Will be coming in the pit. Vira will be doing the same thing. Vira still under pressure from PRV. He almost fully loses it there. Surely he's going to compromise his time. Driver in front. Vira can't keep behind. Getting very slippery now. Getting very slippery now in the wets. side by side. Hazer and Dog go. Dog make it easy for him. Down the inside, he's trying to get it completed. Oh, almost contact between these two, but Hazer can't complete the move on the inside. Beautiful racing between those two, but they're still going to be going side by side into Market and Peckett and make a little bit of contact, and that means Dog is going to go wide there. 3-second penalty for him there, but he definitely can appeal that. It was just hard racing between those two, forced him off. And continue racing, but Hazer will complete that move up to P6. He goes. His charge is still on with 12 laps to go in this one, but the question is, would Deck and Pesci go for a pit stop, or are they going for the long one on this one? If they do not go for the long one, does Hazer have the pace to catch back up to them? I do not think so, because Mr. P and Merck are just coming past the first corner, and Hazer is literally just getting there right now. So that's a few seconds between himself and many P3 and P4, and those guys are 14 seconds away for the men in the top two. So I believe the top two might be out of question for Hazer here, boys. Oh, almost losing the back end there, Pesci. Unbelievable save from the Kicksauber driver. Dog will go into the pits now. Angry Badger decide it's time for the pit stops and fresh inter tires for a bunch of drivers now. We'll see which driver decides that the long strategy is the best strategy, as Merck now still struggling to get past the Visa RB. The Visa RB does have the pace though to keep pushing and keep pulling them to the front, to keep the fight on Hazer. But Hazer is not too far behind as they go into Markets and Peckett. He will be going to the Markets and Peckett very soon on fresher tires, 10 laps fresher to be precise, on Mr. P and Merck in front, who are his main competitors as we speak. He definitely will be able to catch up to the guys in front, but the guys in front will be going for the pit stops. Pesci triggers it first out of the top two, and Deck is going to go around one more time. Might come into the pits on this one, or might just stay out all the way to the end. I don't believe those tires will be able to handle that, staying out all the way to the end. And Dog now take another 3-second penalty. He definitely will be able to appeal the first one. The second one looks like he's going to have to hold on to that one. But Pesci right now coming out of the pits. Viva will get through, who decided to stay out again for a long one, as Merck will also be getting through Pesci. Hazer, as you can see, the undercut walking to perfection, has gotten ahead of Pesci, but with older tires now is going to have to hold Pesci behind, which will be a lot of pressure. When Deck goes into the pit stop, where would he go into? But would he actually go into the pit with 10 laps to go? Honestly, I wouldn't. I'm just saying this on the fact that I don't really have that much pace. That a one stop might be the best option. There might be also no stop at all, especially in the track like Silverstone in the wet, where it's about 20-something seconds to finish a pit stop. So if someone behind you with 12 laps to go decides to pit and he gets that 23 seconds, let's say 23 seconds, he's going to have to cut 2 seconds a lap, but Deck decides that his tires will not be able to go to the end. He will come into the pits. Very good there, not speeding into the pit lane. The Ferrari of Merck though, when will he trigger his pit stop, as Mr. P has come into the pits, and Pesci and Hazer will be going at it here, as Pesci will be putting a lot of pressure on the Alpine, trying to hit him with a switchback, going around the outside the Kicksauber. Hazer is going to defend it, making a little bit of contact between these two, as Viva now will be going into the pits, starting lap 16, these two, as they are behind, as he's behind Hazer, heading down the straight. Still not enough for him here, as the Alpine is not making it easy for him. Declan will come out of the pits behind both of them on fresher tires and the boat, and the race can resume now. Everybody has come into the pits except for the man who started at the back, UFRL Merck. What will he decide to go for? Will it be the one that decides that staying out probably is the better option with 10 laps to go in this one? Can he grab a win with a daring strategy from the Ferrari, or is this gonna just be another Ferrari disaster class strategy that will make him fall even more back, as Coffee in the Mercedes gets past his teammates up to P8? He goes. As you can compute it, we have a trial tomorrow. Oh, someone is in chat talking about how can I join. Yeah, just join the link and we do have a trial tomorrow evening. We have trials almost every Thursdays and Sundays, maybe. I think it's Thursdays and Sundays. So just join the league and you'll see the procedures to join. We have pace-based tiers, but we also have 5 different tiers, 2 on the weekends, which are these ones. These are not pace-based. Anybody can take part in them. As take part in them, Pesci is doing, as he's now going to go down the inside of Hazer there. Hazer can still keep that P2 in this race. Pesci, the move on the inside, it wasn't the right one, but Merck now will be going into the pit. I actually want to know if anybody can give me information, maybe one of the drivers, how much wear I will be on these tires. The fact that they are all going into the pit, how much wear truly are on these tires that you can't go for the long one, as Merck now going into the pits. The driver that he was fighting with is Mr. P, now coming out of the final corner and starting his lap 17. Will he be ahead of the Ferrari? He does come through. Yes, he will. Down to P5. The Ferrari goes, but with those fresher tires now, he can now just chase down Mr. P and try to get ahead of him. P.F. Widget coming into the pit. We now head back to the lead, battle for the lead of this race. Pesci finally getting ahead of Deck with the pit stops. Couldn't get it on track, but got in on the pit stop. Deck though has fresher tires than the 2 drivers who will continue to squabble in front as they head down now. 2 corps round the outside. The kick Sauber is going to go, and round the outside he's not going to complete the move. Alpine of Hazer still defending it. Hazer has shown the defensive skills that he has in the inter-tier right from round 1, and here he goes again. Pesci and Deck right behind him. All the pressure on the Alpine, but he's going to have to keep his cool and hold his drivers behind. Pesci now is going to be gaining the same thing as the McLaren of Deck, who goes around the outside of Pesci, takes that P2. He's going to try it on the P1 around the outside, but he's going to be compromised there. That means they're going to go 3 wide going into the next corner. Pesci, can he take it around the outside? Hazer is still defending it, and they're going to stay as they were. Unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable fighting from the drivers in front. Pesci's going to try it on the inside. Nothing doing going into that last corner, but that means he's going to be compromised, and Declan in the McLaren goes up to P2. Unbelievable fighting between these drivers, and unbelievable defending from Hazer in the Alpine, as he can still keep these drivers behind with 8 laps to go in this one. He's boiling up there. Mr. P now with the quickest lap of 136.5. He will get that extra point for now if nobody has a say about that. But what does Deck have to say about this on the old tires in the Alpine? Round the outside on the dry line for the McLaren. Does he have the traction there? No, he does not. Unbelievable defending from Hazer here. Magnificent car placement from the Alpine to keep the McLaren and the Visa RB behind, but he might not have enough, as going down to corps now. Round the outside, the McLaren is going to go, and can he complete that move? No, he cannot. Hazer is still keeping them behind. Unbelievable stuff. The driving from Hazer here now is honestly out of this world, as he can keep that McLaren and the Visa and the kick Sauber. The kick Sauber now is now going to put pressure on McLaren as we head down now to Doug and Viral, who also continue their fights. Head back to the front. Deck still nothing doing. Will he hit him with a switchback here? A little bit of contact with Pesci and Deck, but he can keep going. Viral and Doug though, under pressure. Doug from Viral and kind of Red Bull, who spun to the back at the start of this one, move up to P8. Good recovery from him so far, as he has also gotten past Simon. Simon is putting pressure on him, but Viral still on old tires. One of the only drivers who decided he doesn't want to come in on this one. Might work out for him, because now it's about a lot of seconds away from the man who was fighting with PF Widget on track. Viral now will be going into the pit. He's going to trigger that pit stop. But like I said, someone needs to tell me the information about the tire wear. If it's that bad, you can't go to the end, especially for drivers who are like on traction control, because on traction control, tire wear in the wet, it's not really that much of a problem in the race. But up to the top 3 now as they continue going. Hazer watching the drivers behind, still putting a lot of pressure. They want to get past him so desperately, as we have a view from his rear wing. And from his rear wing, you can see the amount of pressure it is having these 2 drivers, having the men always finish in the top 3 in tier 1, staring down you and just trying to get past you as they traverse Maggots and Beckett now. Would this be the moment that Deck has been looking for, as he's going to try it round the outside here now, and finally can he complete the move? Hazer is not going to make it easy. He's going to have his elbows out as they go around Stowe there, but he can finally get up to P2. Or can he? 3-second penalty for Declan here, continuing to fight to Hazer, has now gotten a 3-second penalty, and Hazer will be very happy seeing the McLaren get that penalty behind him, as they will continue fight here, making a little bit of contact between those two. Hazer now finally has lost that place, but can hit him with the switchback and go around the outside to keep his place on the McLaren, as they will not give this one up. Can Declan here hold on to his lead? Can Pesci take that P2 round the outside of the Alpine? Nothing doing there, as the Alpine can still keep that place in P2. They're just fighting every corner now. They are absolutely having fun here, as you can see. They are having a lot of fun. As Hazer now, 3-second penalty for him, and Pesci is sitting in prime position to win this race. He did win a tier 1 race, the last tier 1 race at Silverstone, and here he goes again. Good racing from him here, but now without that 3-second penalty, he's in a prime position to steal the win from the inter-tier competitors. And definitely a driver like Merck will be very happy with what he's seeing in front. He wants Deck and Hazer getting a win when it comes to their inter-tier standings fight of Viral and PRV Widget. Still fighting here, as Viral getting ahead of the Mercedes of PRV on fresher inter tires. Can hold PRV behind. We'll see if we will finish ahead of him in this one, as EMT never joined back into the session. As you can see, Kesinator on the hard tires. Hard tires for Kesinator, as you can see, absolutely struggling. The dry tires definitely not the choice, as he continues to pour down, and DRS hasn't even enabled. I mean, if you want to go for dry tires when it's wet, hard tires probably is not the best option, as they even take ages to heat up on the dries. But going for it in the wet is quite an interesting one. If you want to go for anything in the wet, it should be the softs and maybe the medium, but the softs probably the best option. Probably the only option that might work, and I'm not even saying it's going to work, it just might work. But Hazer, after his very strong fight to keep the drivers from behind, has now lost that time. I will have to settle for a P. He has Mr. P 11 seconds behind, but P in a 5 lap is going to have to gain about 7 seconds, about 8 seconds on him if he wants to finish ahead of him on this one. But he's under pressure now from the Ferrari of UFRL, and Merck will be looking to secure that P4. The P4 that would be very good for him. Damage control, considering the fact that he started in P14. Especially now, doesn't need to fight it too hard. The elbows out fighting surely will end now, especially doesn't have that 3-second penalty. Already gaining on his time, 9/10 up on his quickest time. It looks like he will be getting the fastest lap on this lap. But there you go, Pesci. If he doesn't get a penalty, will be winning this race in Silverstone and be taking that win away from Declan. We definitely will not be happy, but he will still keep his championship lead going into the final. As getting past the struggling Red Bull of Kesinator, who's still out there on hard tires and has gone deep in this corner once again, as they all will be sliding past him. Declan can't pull away from Pesci there, but even losing even more time now, Hazer to the drivers behind, but like it will be enough, like he will lose enough to them to lose that place. As Merck now behind Mr. P, 9/10 behind him, is now in prime position as Woody and Viral get back to back 3-second penalties here. As Merck in that Ferrari behind Mr. P, finally in a position to make the move on the BRB. When can he complete that move? P4 will be a strong one for his championship fight here. P4 that he surely will deserve after a very strong drive. As they now head down to Corps, Merck will use a little bit of that ERS to gain on the BRB in front. 4 laps to go in this one. Mr. P definitely is not going to make it easy for see that he's going to make contact with him, but definitely it's not going to make it easy. From the fresh out Inter tires that he's on, he'll be looking for Pesci round the outside. Will be looking to take the lead of the race, and take the lead of the race he does for the first time in this one. Pesci leads the race, and the race that looks like he is going to win at the end of this one. Comfortable drive, not really that comfortable, but it's going to be a comfortable drive at the end of this one for Pesci. All he has to do is stay close to deck, and he will be your winner. Mr. P now not comfortable at all, as the Ferrari now right behind his rear wing as they're coming out of the final corner, now heading down to turn 1. Gaining on him, the Ferrari, Simon and Doug squabbling. Visa RB will get past Doug now. Up to P8 he goes. Yellow flags, as it's more yellow flags caused by the Red Bull, I believe, who keeps staying out on those hard tires. Hard tires that are clearly not working because the AI of EMT is even quicker than him. Most drivers now probably have lapped him maybe once or twice, I believe just once. Lapped by everybody in the track. Not really the best situation for Kesinator here. But Declan still going to be putting pressure on Pesci to see if he can force him into a 3-second penalty situation. I don't believe it's going to happen. About 5/10 behind Mr. P. Still can't get past that. We have 3 laps to go. It's going to have to be now or never. I know he wants that P4 so bad. So he's still in the fight in the championship. Definitely. He's going to want to keep that P4. Close mates when it comes to track racing. Everybody wants to beat their mates. I'm definitely trying to do that here. Dog still putting pressure on the Visa RB in front. Now out of course. McLaren will fight for that P8. He does have the penalty compared to Simon. No penalties. Simon just has to keep his car clean for the rest of this one. And he will be finishing ahead of Dog. Definitely immense amount of pressure behind the rear wing of Kick Sauber. But Kick Sauber knows that he's in prime position to win this one. But does Merck know that he's in prime position to get past the Visa RB? Maybe, maybe not. As he's going to set off Visa RB with a little bit of a mistake there, and Merck now can't set the move up. He will take the wider line coming into this one and heading back to the dry line down the straight now as they head to the bridge. Will he have enough? Not the best exit there, so he can still keep that place from him going on to the wet part of the track to cool down those tires, and definitely heating up at this point. Pesci now has lost the place to Deck in front, but he's going to try it down the inside again, going into course, but Declan can take back the lead of this race. Maybe Declan will appeal his 3-second penalty, because I remember he did get that last warning when he was fighting with Hazer. So Pesci has to have that in mind. If you want to get the win here, you should try and get past Declan. Make sure you finish ahead of him, because you don't know if he is going to appeal it or not. But Merck now, can he finally slide through on the Visa RB as they head down now to Stowe? He's going to be gaining as the wheels turn around, using that ERS, going to the inside there, but it's not going to be enough. Still staying behind the Visa RB of Mr. P as they're going to head into the penultimate lap of this one. Doug will get past the other Visa RB of Simon before they go into Mangus and Peckett, the McLaren. Up to P8 he goes. They're about to start the penultimate lap. But his McLaren teammate has started the penultimate lap in front of Pesci. And I remember what I said. Looking like he might be able to appeal the 3-second penalty. So the race win is still on for Declan here. He just has to keep Pesci behind. But Pesci might not know the situation on the McLaren. As he's struggling a little bit there. Pesci coming out of that corner. 3-second penalty now for Coffee. We're going to keep watching those two. We're going to keep watching these two. We're also going to be watching Simon and Dougie. 3 fights on track. Viva still in P6 in a strong race for him here. He's been in P6 for a while now, and he's kept that P6, and looks like surely he's going to finish in that position. There we go. UFRL Merck still right behind Visa RB of Poem. heading to the last lap of this one. It's going to be his last opportunity to get past that Visa RB, and the last opportunity for Pesci to get past the McLaren. Here you go now, heading out of the penultimate corner, and the final corner in this one is going to be one more lap of racing. The final lap has begun here. Can the McLaren keep Pesci behind? And we'll see if he does appeal the 3-second penalty. Can Merck get past that Visa RB, who's looking very, very wide on track? Simon now has lost time to Doug. Looks like Doug might get that P8 if he can't pull away from Simon. 1.7 seconds down. We need about 2 more seconds, about 1.5 more seconds to get that 3-second penalty buffer from him. But Merck now right behind the Visa RB, setting the move up. Visa RB with a little bit of a mistake there, might have compromised Merck a little bit. Pesci is not going to make it easy for Declan on their final tour of this one now, heading down to Corps, very close to the Ferrari, and here you go now. Will he complete the move on the inside, gaining on that Visa RB, taking the place on the inside? They make a little bit of contact, but he's finally completed a move. A very, very difficult one for him there. Mr. P is not going to give it up for sure, as Merck now around the outside didn't have the grip there, as Mr. P now can get ahead of him, but they will go down to Corps, and Merck will try it one more time down the inside. Will he go for it? He's going to have to hold it back here, as Hazer is going to settle for P3. He's in a good position. Pesci though, can he take the lead on the final lap of this one? Trying to hit him with the switchback, and will he hit him with the switchback? Yes, he will. Taking the lead momentarily there, and he does take the lead of the race in the final few corners. Pesci is going to cross the line in front as he wins in Silverstone in a very, very stunning race. The McLaren of Deck will spin through the corner up. He will take that P2 though. Hazer and the Alpine with a strong drive from him will take P3. Mr. P does well to defend from the Ferrari behind, as he is going to settle for P4. And Ferrari has to take P5, almost loses the back end there as they cross the line, and he also does what Declan did when he did cross the line. P5 for Merck. Viva will take P6 in a good race, as Coffee coming in P7, Dog in P8, Angry Badger in P9. Simon on the final lap has lost it. He's out of fuel. Simon is out of fuel on the final lap. Oh my god. I've not seen a driver run out of fuel in a while. And fuel is not that bad. It's not that bad in this one, but Simon runs out of fuel. I'm gonna cross the line in P10. Dog gets past him there. Dog will finish ahead of him. 3-second penalty that Dog has, doesn't matter now. Viral will cross the line in P11. P12 for P Average. Woody will take P13. EMT finish ahead of Kesinator. EMT left this race a long time ago. There's hard tires that Kesinator was on, continues to struggle on it, and he will finish in P15. And there you go, that's the end of the race. The two Red Bulls make contact right at the end. And a strong race from him. Driver of the day, UFRL Merck, for sure. A strong drive from him. I thought he got it right at the end on Mr. P. Going around the outside, he might have lost a little bit of traction, but a good drive from him nonetheless. There you go. Kick Sauber of Pesci will take that win, a win that Merck and the rest of the competitors going against Deck will definitely be happy with, because they do not want Deck winning another race here. But Pesci takes the win. Kick Sauber is going to celebrate, because we know the champagne is going to taste the best for the Kick Sauber camp. That's the win. British Grand Prix, accompanied by the Alpine and the McLaren on the podium, as they will all celebrate in a good race here in the Inter. I'm gonna show the race director before the stuff runs out. Actually, let me show on the complete grid. There you go. Then the race director, just in case it's needed. Declan, we'll see. I mean, Declan doesn't really need to appeal that 3-second penalty anyways now, because he has now been overtaken by Pesci, and he also did get another warning after the 3 seconds, so it wouldn't have counted anyways. Well, there you go. Pesci wins in a good race here at Silverstone. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for supporting the Inter when I did add you guys in chat. I noticed that a bunch of you did jump in. Thank you guys for that. Didn't get set up in on time. Oof. Unlucky, man. Unlucky. Didn't get set up in on time. Unlucky. But I'm not sure about that hard tired run at the end. You just kept struggling over and over again. Thank you guys for tuning in. And a good one here at Silverstone. Round 4 of the season has finished, and we'll be heading to round 5 in Tier 1 in a good race. Surely a good race in Tier 1, as Pesci and Bird will continue their championship fight after a strong race from the back in Australia. They'll be going at it again here in round 5. Thank you guys for tuning in. I've been Willie Fernandez. We have been UFRL. Good night and goodbye.